All right, everyone, we are going to continue on with some measurement items, and one that has always fascinated me, temperature, and why it is that we use the Fahrenheit scale here in the United States, but seems like everybody else in the world uses Celsius. So we're going to take a look at this really quickly. Um, so if you would be so kind as to turn in your Purple Indiana Success book to page 73, this is chapter 10 and lesson 9C. And at the very top there, you can see I can estimate and measure temperature in degrees Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius. Now, before we go any further, you're going to need to go over to the website here where we keep all of our assignments, and you need to watch these first two videos. All right? And if you have not watched those, you need to watch those first and then come back over and watch um, the video here that I'm putting together. So, I'm assuming that you have already watched those two videos, so let's get right to this. And you'll notice that the format is changed here just a little bit so that it can be adjusted to what it is that we're hoping to accomplish. So temperature is the measure of how hot or cold something is. Degrees Fahrenheit are customary units of temperature. That's what we use in the United States. To read a thermometer, you find the number closest to the top of the red bar. Use the scale along each side, kind of like a number line. So if we were to take a closer look at this thermometer, we'll notice a few things here. First of all, on a Fahrenheit scale, water freezes at 32 degrees. All right. Normal room temperature is about 72 degrees, although I like to keep my room temperature anywhere between 68 and 70, but 72 is typically what people keep their thermometers at or their thermostats at. Normal body temperature is about 98 degrees. And then way up on the top of the scale here, and you'll notice this part has kind of been cut out. But way at the top of the scale, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, and that would be the temperature if your mom or your dad are cooking something on the stove and it says bring to a boil. That would be when those bubbles are really going crazy. So let's come here and take a look at some of these activities. And number one, we're not going to be able to do because we had an activity that we were supposed to do with that, and we're not actually going to worry about that right now. So don't worry about number one. We'll just go ahead and block that out. There we go. So see, we're already off to a good start with our assignment here. Now let's take a look here. Some outdoor activities are shown below. Choose the better temperature for each activity. All right, so we've got someone sledding down the hill, probably in snow. All right, it's not going to be 75 degrees. That's what the temperature would be inside, and snow would be melting. All right, so for this one right here, it's going to be 20 degrees Fahrenheit. On the other side, we have this person here who's lucky enough to be at a beach making sandcastles. And because he's in a bathing suit, short sleeves, it would not be 32 degrees. That's when water starts to freeze. He's enjoying himself on the beach, and so that's going to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the most part, this is the scale that most of us are familiar with. All right, you hear that the temperature is going to be 86 degrees, and you have a pretty good idea of what it is that you're going to be wearing. However, there is another scale that um, is pretty popular in many, many other parts of the world, and that is called the degrees Celsius scale. All right, and it is part of the metric system. Now, the thing with the metric system is that it is based on powers of 10. All right, so you either have something that's at 1 or 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, so on and so forth. So, for degrees Celsius, we look at 0 to 100. And those numbers kind of filled in give us the rest of our measurements. So right here at 0 degrees, that's when water freezes. And water boils at 100. So we see here we have a difference of 100. Normal room temperature is about 20 degrees. All right. That's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where I said I kind of like my room temperature at. And normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. Now, a while back, someone led me to this little poem to help us kind of keep things straight. And we would start with 30. So we'd say 30 is hot, 20 is nice, 10 is cold, 0 is ice. All right. So you might even think about these in terms of seasons. All right. 30 in the summer, that's about 86 degrees. All right. 20, that could be spring or fall. We're talking 68 degrees. As we look at 10 is cold. All right, that's 50 degrees. You're probably still going to need a jacket when you go outside. And then 0 is ice. That's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you can memorize this, you can at least get to an understanding of what degree Fahrenheit and Celsius, how those match up. All right. So then I'm always asked, well, what about 40 degrees? What's that equal to? And 40 degrees is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So that might be temperatures that you see in Arizona, New Mexico, those places out there, and maybe sometimes Texas. All right. But if you can remember this, 30 is hot, 20 is nice, 10 is cold, 0 is ice. It will help you with this right here. Choose the better temperature for the activity. Well, they're out on the ice. Looks like they're skating, having a grand time. It's not going to be 32 degrees Celsius. Now, 32 degrees Fahrenheit? Sure. 32 degrees Celsius, man, that's going to be just over 86 degrees because remember, 30 is hot. Okay, so we're looking at 0 degrees Celsius. And right here we have, looks like some planting going on for spring. And 0 degrees Celsius or 15 degrees Celsius. Well, it's not icy outside. It looks pretty nice. So 15 degrees Celsius, that's right in between the nice and the cold. All right. So I think that would be our better choice right here. All right. Let's see what we have coming up next here. So we have this right here. We have our kind of poem to memorize. Here's what I'd like for you to do is to go ahead and pause the video. You can pause the video right here with this scale right up here to help you to remember. And unpause the video and we'll see how it is that you did. All right. Back at it here. And we are going to use the liquid that is inside each of these to figure out what the temperature is. Let's really get a zoom in here. And it looks to me for this one, that goes right about there. Maybe just a tad bit up. Just a little bit. And it looks like it's one mark above the 45. So you know what? To me, that looks a lot like 46 degrees. 46 degrees. And then we want to clarify it as Fahrenheit. Looking down here, let's bring our little marker down here with us. Boy, right there. Just maybe a tick up. I think that would be safe to say right there at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And then number 3 for our measuring with Fahrenheit. We'll get right about in here. We know it's greater than 95, but not up to 100 yet. So here's 95, 96, 97. Looks like we've got 98 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. You will go ahead and turn the page. I'm just going to go down the page right here. And we're going to do some measurements right here. Let's see if we can't figure out these Celsius scales. So we'll put that one right about there. It's just maybe just a tick or two over. Oh, there we go. That's looking pretty good. And let's get zoomed in here even more. And it would appear to be, let's see, there's 15, 16, 17. I think that we are looking at 18 degrees Celsius. And now for number 5. Let's bring over our level right here and put that right about there. And so there's 25, and then one below it is kind of where that marking goes. So we're looking at 24 degrees Celsius. And now over here, with this thermometer, put it right about there. So 30, between 30 and 35, so 31. And I think that we'd be safe to say that is 32 degrees Celsius. All right. Get zoomed out of here and look at these next ones. And then I'm going to send you off on another kind of activity. A bonus activity for those that want to attempt that. So right down here, choose the better temperature for the activity. Is this going to be 1 degree Celsius or 33 degrees Celsius? Well, 30 is hot, 20 is nice, 10 is cold, 0 is ice. It looks like they're outside, so that's going to be 1 degree Celsius. And we have this little girl here riding her bike. Looks like a nice summer day, clear skies, wearing shorts, short sleeve shirt. Oh, 75 degrees. I think it's a good one right there. And then finally, raking some leaves in the fall. It's not going to be 95 degrees. That is in the dog days of summer. and those leaves would still be on the tree. So I think we're looking at fall time, 62 degrees Celsius. All right. Now, before we go on with our assignment, if you would like to try this, we're going to go ahead and do it. If after hearing this, if you don't want to try it, that's fine. We can you can go ahead and stop the video right now and start on your assignment. But what I want to look at right now, for those that want to continue on with a little bit more of this, is then somewhat of an easy conversion. It's not exact, but it will get you close, and it will, it's just kind of math that you can do in, in your brain, okay? So right here is another video that you can watch. All right, this space right here is where the video I'm doing right now is going to end up at. But you're going to watch right here, and it's going to give you some hints and a scale on how to convert Celsius and Fahrenheit in your mind, or mentally, using kind of mental shortcut math. So if you wish to continue with this challenge, go ahead and pause the video right now, watch that video, and then come back here. And what we're going to do is take these temperatures here that we just found and convert them into its opposite scale. So go ahead and pause the video now, watch that other video, and then come back here in just a bit.